Welcome to Manhattan Project. This is day 23. So tonight, Odette and I went to go see Leap at the Williamsburg Cinema. It's our first time there, even though we live super close. Take a look. Check it out on the floor. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? We've never been here before, but we live so close to it. So finally we got an opportunity to go.
You've never been here before?
No. Leap is the new European animated film that the Weinstein Company is putting out in America. It stars Elle Fanning, Nat Wolff, as well as Carly Rae Jepsen. It's about a young orphan girl that escapes the orphanage along with her friend to go to Paris, France in hopes of becoming a ballerina at a famous dancing school. Take a look at that trailer.
Are you doing dance or kung fu?
Leap, rated PG.
So John, what were your expectations going into this movie?
Well, I knew Carly Rae Jepsen was in it, and she's a personal hero of mine. I also knew that she lended her voice to an original song for the soundtrack, which she didn't write for this movie, but it was subsequently released for this movie. It hadn't been released ever before until the soundtrack, and the song is amazing. So I was excited for that end to see what Carly could do. Other than that, I didn't really know what it was about, other than the fact that Ballerina, because it's called Ballerina elsewhere, not and Leap here, and then on the poster it looks like she's flying or something. But yeah, I didn't expect it to be particularly good, but I was at least interested in seeing what Carly Rae Jepsen was going to bring to it, because I love that Canadian girl. So before I get into the review, let's see what Dorota thought. Hey Dorota, did you think that Leap was good?
No.
I guess that's her review. So Leap is a poorly animated, not really cleverly written, okay acted, really by the numbers story of rags to riches that is implemented and plotted pretty comfortably well in a way that I found to be kind of enjoyable. So Leap is the kind of movie where as soon as it starts, you're like, holy shit, how bad is this movie? How cheap is it? Because the textures just look like shit, and the characters are so broad. Like, there's jokes at the orphanage about the big, mean, obnoxious, cross-eyed guy that works there that's mean, that's mean to them, and shit like that. That's just like the worst, lower than low, boring, lazy kid shit. But then once the film actually gets going, you realize that Elle Fanning's actually a pretty decent voice actress. Nat Wolff is charming enough as her like weird ass friend, and ultimately, once the thing actually picks up, it's surprisingly well calculated for a children's movie. So it's kind of like if The Karate Kid was made about a ballerina. So Carly Rae Jepsen plays this injured former ballerina who works as like a maid cleaning people's houses for a living, and then we have this orphan girl show up, kind of meet her, and then they become like an unlikely team of teacher-student. Then Carly Rae Jepsen's character is teaching this Elle Fanning character how to dance in these sort of untraditional exercising ways, kind of like the wax on, wax off stuff. She's asking her to like jump and ring a bell without splashing on water and stuff like that, as opposed to just practicing a pirouette. Anyway, it's the classic shit that you've seen before in movies, but done, I think, in a pretty good way. It's very comforting. It's like comfort food, and you see the hero's journey, you see the character arc very clearly. It progresses fast enough. This movie's like 80-something minutes. Yeah, the evil characters, like there's this rich woman and her shitty, snotty daughter, who are like the competition for, the ballerina character. They're very thinly written, very underwritten characters, all the sort of bad guys. But everything else is charming enough in here and very watchable. Like I said, I really appreciated how much of the hero's journey, the character arc, and the beats of which she's like training and then making mistakes because of her arrogance, but also given more credit and chances because of her excitement and her perseverance and whatnot, are all just like really well done, really classic, really simple. I only just wish that I can't even wish the animation was better, because that's a budget thing, right? I'm sure they did the best they did with their budget. But I wish it was a little bit funnier. I wish it was a little bit less broad in its humor. But other than that, kind of an enjoyable film. I was surprised how much, once it really got going, the beats worked for me, especially as someone that's kind of playing devil's advocate, because I'm so not the audience for this film. So yeah, overall, not a huge review I can give you. Other than that, it's just that if your kid was excited by the trailer or wants to be a ballerina or whatever, this is a decent enough story to teach someone. There's no shitty potty humor, it's not like Minions or whatever. There's one fart joke. And the message at the end about essentially just persevering in the face of adversity with regards to your dreams and your hopes, and regardless of what your class is and what your social background and where you are, just daring to dream and whatnot is just a classic kid's story thing that is not original at all, but is done well here and is told pretty concisely, and not a bad thing to be teaching our kids, so, right? So, Leap, overall, not a bad film for me. I would say it's like a 2.5 out of 4, something like that. I have to imagine it's better than like The Nut Job 2 or other recent animated movies. So yeah, check it out if you have kids. If you can get past the fact that it's clearly cheaper made, I think the sentiment behind this movie was pretty sound. That was my review of Ballerina/Leap. We review movies every single day here at the Manhattan Project, so tune in tomorrow where we're going to have another review, and then the next day, and then the next.